I think in life, as you get older, you start to get a view of the world, and you start to create a point of reference for a lot of these countries that are out there. Like the biggest country in the world, obviously we all know, is Russia. And how many people don't know someone who's Russian or has a crazy Russian uncle? You know, then there's Canada. We all know what's in Canada. And third is the United States. You know, there's a lot of countries out there, and there's a lot of big countries out there, and it's really interesting to see how the 9th largest country in the world, you have almost no frame of reference for. Like, you have no idea what the people look like, what the food is like, and that country is Kazakhstan.
So I think the idea was to get 4 skateboarders from different parts of the world, bring them together.
We did a triangle route around Kazakhstan.
So we covered a lot of ground in quite a short amount of time. And we started in Astana.
Astana is just actually a really young city. It's gonna turn 19 years old this year. For this size of the city, it's really impressive how fast they just built everything.
What I thought it was like, it's like kind of like an unfinished game of Sims or something like that. They wanted the best architecture and they, made it happen. I feel like they didn't really have much of a plan and they just kind of rushed it.
The president had a vision for the city. At one point he said that by 2020 it would be the future Paris, which he later changed to 2050. But the architecture is unbelievable. It's all these gold, shiny, modern buildings that have sort of a closer aesthetic feel to that of like Dubai or some kind of modern Arab state, which is pretty amazing.
I don't know, what is this thing? I don't know. It's just a golden dish with a hole in it. It's like broken teacup.
First day, pretty much the first spot for me. Probably the most insane thing I've ever skated.
You gotta do it. You gotta do it from the top. You can't do it like that.
never gonna be back in Astana, Kazakhstan. Just like look at the spot. Like how come you do it from the middle? Like who does tail drops from the middle? It's gonna be epic. It's gonna be like you're gonna be like 50 looking at your photos, and it's gonna be like a good souvenir for you from Kazakhstan. Just tail dropping from the top. You're like, look.
Do you wanna hold me? Do you wanna hold me up?
That was insane. Holy shit.
So after spending a few days in Astana, we all caught our flight to Aktau, which is directly on the Caspian Sea, like backed up right to it.
And yeah, it's straight to host like an ex-Soviet Union. So it was built in the 60s and it was just all these Soviet blocks left to decay, like with paint flaking off and like the depressing little playground in between each building.
This is not bad.
It was really weird, like we'd be walking through commission flats. It'd like be something you see from like an old Russian movie, and then, you know, you'd walk like another 5 minutes and you'd be by the beach with like a really nice hotel. And it seems like we were the only people staying there. Like it was completely dead. I don't think I even saw another guest.
The first thing we did was arrange for 2 drivers to take us into the Ustyurt Plateau in the Mangistau region.
To find these canyons and natural rock formations and plateaus and stuff.
We would ask people and show them photos and they didn't know where it was or what it was, but we later find out that it's a picture of it printed on the money, yet still people didn't know that it existed only a handful of hours from where they lived.
It could just be a classic prank they play on tourists where they just send us to the middle of nowhere. And now we're in the middle of nowhere waiting for gas to arrive at the gas station. There's a long line of cars. The scenery here is pretty flat. Yeah, a lot of oil fields and a lot of oil infrastructure.
What we kind of sort of discovered as we were driving towards the Ustyurt Plateau was that there were people visiting the area, but they weren't there to see the canyons. There was holy sites there, temples and tombs. They invited us into a place to have tea and eat.
We made the trip out into the desert with 2 drivers, 2 4x4 cars. Well, one 4x4 car, one that was much more equipped to be driving in the desert, and the other being one that looked like a soccer mom got lost and ended up in the middle of the desert. Just more of like a van-style SUV thing that was definitely not meant to be driving through the middle of the desert.
I'm smelling it. The back tires aren't spinning because there's too much mud.
Better? Stop driving! Wait. Hey, wait, hey!
Stop. Dude, it's like drying too. I also learned in that experience that idiot is the same in Russian. So the driver probably didn't really like us too much. Sick. It's not gonna work.
Our vehicle got completely stuck and there was nothing we could do. Yeah, we basically just walked around in the mud.
Now next lake we see, don't drive into it. Imagine you jumped in an Uber like this.
These are my only shoes for the rest of the trip.
I got to the point, I might have been getting a little delirious after being stuck out there and thinking we were gonna be there overnight. And I came across a weird lizard that I decided to just catch and hang out with, and that's I've spent my time.
This is probably his first experience with humans and we're just chasing him like animals.
I found out that it only takes 1 hour for me being stranded in the desert to go a little crazy and start making friends with lizards and rubbing their belly. And the majority of the spots on the trips are at like memorials and parks. In Aktau, a lot of the spots were at memorials with just crazy banks and mani pads, always marble or granite manual pads, which are always interesting. Like Daniel Zvereff definitely was excited to come across a few manual pads. So the last leg of the trip from Aktau to Almaty was a 75-hour train ride in total. Every city that we visited started with the letter A, so we kind of refer to the trip as the straight A's.
This train ride we're taking is equivalent of taking a train from London to Istanbul or Chicago to LA.
Definitely when you're staring down the barrel of a 3-day train ride, 3 days and 3 nights, it's just very daunting. You think, how the hell am I going to do it? But when you're with a good crew, how like we were, there was no complaining. It was just fun.
For such a long and slow train, like this thing stops. It's really slow. If you look out the window, it's like creeping. Time goes by pretty fast, and it's pretty fun. Like I'm looking forward to another day here. And I think I'm just gonna stay here. The dining car is maybe 5 train cars through, so it's pretty fun to leave ours and walk through. It's like each train car is like its own little society.
It's essentially like a little micro world, you know, it's their home, but 4 feet away from your home, and their kids are playing outside, which is the little hallway, and everyone's kind of there together.
Is it from a cow or?
Коровы.
Oh, yeah. That's cow, I'm pretty sure. It's either cow or camel.
Коровы, молоко. Один хватит?
Yeah, come on in.
A few of the guys on the trip are drinking this sour milk that's carbonated, and it's just so harsh.
Man, I love her. Pinky out. When in doubt, pinky out. I haven't even gotten any yet. That was it. It's up to here. Dude, you have to squeeze it. It's like a yogurt right now. It's too. Oh! Sorry, guys. How excited! Yeah, way too juiced. No.
You know, riding the train in Kazakhstan is pretty similar to riding a train in Russia or any other of the ex-Soviet countries. The trains that we were specifically on, they were repurposed East German trains. You know, everything is very simple. It's just pure function and no comfort. You know, all you have is a little jug of boiling water that you're turning this little lever, and you're slowly watching it trickle into your cup of noodles or your ramen, and that's pretty much it.
Look how many friends we made.
We decided to stop in a city called Uralsk, which is a very special place in the world because at one point it had the 4th largest inland sea on the entire planet. There was a very large famine in the Soviet Union, and their way to fix that was to divert some of the major waterways that fed the Ural Sea to water some crops. And essentially, they made a huge miscalculation and literally drained the entire sea.
There was one point where this boat was just floating around. Not so much anymore. I think the boat used to go back to where that piece is. But apparently people come here and scrap it out for money.
So this entire town was based off of this port where we're at right now. Late 80s, it turned into this. It's dried out. Cadavers of boats just stuck here. And this guy decided to build his house attached to it. It's definitely depressing.
He's really happy. He says thank you.
Oh, yeah.
He says no one will believe him that people pushed it out. He's been here for almost 24 hours. Yeah. There was a rainbow yesterday.
Oh, nice. Not a bad place to be stuck for 24 hours. Not a rainbow. It makes it all better.
It was quite rough, definitely spending that many hours on a train. There were points where you just wanted to get off and be able to skate, but the only time you could get off was for a 10-minute stop where everyone just exits the train and runs around trying to grab snacks and whatever they've been craving for the hours that they've been stuck in their little cabin. And so you just jump off and you end up buying like some sketchy chicken.
Oh my God, those are so good. No! 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. I mean, that sounded on point right there. We're doing all right. This thing's definitely gonna get to Almaty. We're gonna get there in no time.
Yeah, I think after 70 so hours on a train, I think everybody's pretty psyched to go skate. Everybody's pretty injury-free after 5 days off not skating, which is good. Apparently Almaty has good spots too, so it should be sick. Well, that's the worst grip job I've ever done.
Made it!
After 3 days in a train.
This is a bit bittersweet. I miss this room.
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's go.
You know, visiting Kazakhstan and all of its regions and using skateboarding as a vehicle to do that is definitely a special way to see a country. You know, it's the 9th biggest country in the world. It has a massive diversity in geography. It has a lot of very interesting people, and to be able to explore that on a skateboard is pretty special.
If it could go on longer, I definitely would. It's been definitely one of the coolest experiences of my life. I mean, the Cayman Islands being the only time I had left America before this, and then coming straight here, it was quite a drastic change in anything I've ever done, and it's been one of the coolest experiences with like the best group of people.
After sitting on a train for 33 hours, we get on this thing to go in circles. Not bad.